Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's time again for Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show. John Sutra's here. Look, she's already waving. Amanda, Connor, and Jimmy Palmiotti. It's good to see you guys. Welcome back.
You too, John. Great to see you, man.
How's it going?
It's going fine. I can't believe it's been just over a year since we were all together at C2E2.
It feels like 10 years. It feels like I haven't seen humans except for like a few friends and my mom and dad.
Yeah, I'm not human, so I'm subhuman. So it's okay.
You're not.
It's so nice to see faces.
Yeah,
absolutely. I hear you. You guys are down in Florida, and I know it's like is it a mixed bag in terms of cool people and idiots, sadly?
No, it's idiots everywhere. Especially the ones that come from other states to vacation here. It seems like there's way too many people thinking that if they come here, they don't have to wear a mask or be careful. And we send them back home with a special care package of COVID for their home to infect their hometown. So I hope they're having a great time. Until then, me and Amanda stay away from any place popular or indoors.
Yeah.
We let the tourists do what they're going to do. We can't control them. Can't control our governor, who's not too bright. And, the politicians are all crazy. The people are crazy. And here we are.
Yes.
I know, buddy. Yeah, I know. Jesus. Well, we'll do our best. Have you guys been able to start getting your shots yet? I got my first one today.
Really? Congratulations.
Yeah.
We got ours on Monday.
We have been shooting up heroin, though, the whole year.
Attaboy, absolutely.
So I don't know if that counts as a shot, but no, we just got no. John W says no. We got a shot Monday, right?
On Monday, and my effects were a sore arm.
Yeah, just that night it was like, lifted the arm. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. The next day,
you can really feel the chip. You can
that microchip they put in my arm definitely was, because our lives are so interesting. We must be microchipped.
I don't believe they're in Sector C. That's Sector C. All right, yeah. Fantastic. Well, we need to know. We want you to be safe. That's all right. I'm really excited for Volume 3 of Sex and Violence. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And now we'll get into details, but we got to start with the Friseta cover here. And here I got even a one like that. Oh, it covers Amanda, so I'll pop it out again.
Yeah, that's Frank in the middle, and John J. Hill did all the design around it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Where did you talk to his kids to clear it, or
we talked to his granddaughter, Sarah Friseta, and that piece has never been used for a book or on a cover or anything, and so we got her permission. And then I talked her into more things. I talked her into doing a pinup for the book, and so I got to ink a pinup of hers, and
wow,
that's inside the book. So we get to see what the Friseta blood does.
She's got the DNA.
She's got the DNA. She's got the chop. She's got the chops.
That's good to hear, man. No, that's incredible. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
God, I love that documentary that he made before he passed, and just to go through a stroke and then come back and draw with your left hand.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have a drawing and he did, and I'm not sure if it was like right-handed or left-handed because it just looked like a Friseta. So, guy's pretty, he was an amazing guy, an amazing talent. There's just, I always say the sad part is we don't have any more work coming from him, but we do celebrate his work. That's for sure.
Well, and again, I think this Sex and Violence and really all 3 volumes that you guys have done evoke that great period of creepy and eerie. Although you tell me these are I assume more action stories with sex, basically.
Well, Amanda and I wrote the lead story. We could talk about that because the other two, Justin Gray did. It's sort of like they play two stories that play against each other. I don't want to give away too much. And and Patrick Wedge did a sci-fi story. But we did Amanda and I wrote the lead story with which is like 20-something pages, and it's with Jimmy Broxton did the artwork on it.
Wow!
And you want to talk about it?
Well, it's one of it's one of like. Here's what happened. You would say it's one of Jimmy's ideas, but I inspired it.
Atta girl.
Accidentally.
So there was a Halloween a couple of years back when people were still going out for Halloween and having parties and stuff. And I just, the bar was too noisy and I was hanging out with a friend of mine.
Let me backtrack. We were in a hotel.
We were at a convention in New Hampshire at a hotel, and it was Halloween weekend. And in the bar, there was like this bar with this big like pirate ship, theme going on. And the bar is a pirate ship. And anyway, it was very loud in there. And a friend and I were like, it's really loud in here. Let's go over to that corner over there. It's quiet. And we were like talking about Star Wars because we're both big Star Wars fans. And yes. Geek. And Jimmy couldn't find me. So.
Well, okay. It's very, very simplified by Amanda.
Okay, go ahead.
We were in this hotel that literally was in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
The only thing around it was a McDonald's. And that was the only thing. So we had woods and houses and everything. Anyway, I noticed I couldn't find Amanda. I didn't see her. And I asked a couple of people there, hey, have you seen Amanda? And everyone's like, no, we haven't seen her in an hour, And then somebody said, I saw her talking to a couple of people, but we don't really know who they are. Like these stuff. And then all of a sudden somebody's saying, I thought I saw her by the back of the hotel. And then we're looking through the hotel. We're checking the rooms. We can't find it. There's like 10 of us looking. And now it's like 40 minutes in. And we're starting to panic a little bit because like we can't find her anywhere. And there's nowhere to go. We don't have a car there or anything. We took a cab there. And then one of the guys says, hey, you know what? Check your phone. See if you can track her phone to see where she is. And I'm like, okay. So I track the phone. I go on the phone tracker and it shows Amanda's like 4 miles away in a place that's a dead end street, and the name of the street was Elm Street. Okay,
lovely.
This made no sense. Like, why would Amanda have left? Who has a car? Nobody we know had a car. Why is she 4 miles away at the end of a street called Elm Street? And we were all getting together, like me and the guys were all getting together. We were gonna hop into one guy had a car. We are gonna go to that house and find her. Because we thought, did she get kidnapped? What the hell happened? Like it was really frightening. And and so the main story in the book, when you read the book, is based on that. Now, obviously, we used it as a taking off point to create something completely different.
Sure.
It was based on that fear. So the first story is sort of a little bit, I want to say, horror. It's real sexy, and it's a little slashery. It's got a little bit of the sex and the violence in it, for sure. So
is this images from that story?
Yeah, so that's the opening in front of the hotel with everybody's in their outfits, and the blonde is supposed to represent Amanda somewhat, but not really her. Like we changed everything, right? We changed all the characters.
I don't have a Dorothy costume.
No, you're not blonde. And, no, we changed all the details, but you things inspire you in real life, right? It's like you take the story somewhere else, and there's some art from it. And,
that's great.
Jimmy Broxton.
That's fantastic. I love Jimmy's stuff. He's amazing.
Yeah, so that inspired our story, and then there's 4 stories in it, and then there's a ton of pinups in there. It's just an all-over pretty book, and it's a fun read. And again, it's stories around the themes of sex and violence. So
understood. No, and the other 2 volumes have been great. And this is number 3. Outstanding. I'm really excited. Here, I even have a couple of the variant covers and the pinups loaded. So,
okay, cool.
Joe Linzer's cover.
Yeah, Joe did a cover on it, and obviously the banner is covering some horrible evil nipple that The world will explode if we show that nipple.
Yeah.
Well, but truly, guys, this is why I'm glad you guys do the original stuff that you do, going back to the pro and everything else. Comics should be fun. It's always been an outlaw medium. It shouldn't be afraid of the new Victorian area that we are.
Right. That's actually a very good term for it, the new Victorian era.
Well, that's, if I were going to do a punk band, they'd be the new Victorians, I guess.
I used to get my comics from a head shop. I used to buy the Robert Crumb stuff, and the head shop had a whole comic rack in there. I remember walking by it when I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh, comic books!" And I went in, and I was like, "Ooh, Fritz the Cat, what's this?" And I would buy those. I'd be like, "Man, these are pretty good." I remember Slow Death was one of them because it had Rich Corbin covers on it, and that kind of stuff is that and heavy metal really influenced my early reading for sure.
I get it. And Creepy and Eerie, and even some of the Marvel black and white when we were really little.
Oh yeah,
man. Have boobs and stuff, and be more adult than what was in the spinner rack stuff.
It's funny too. We say adult, right? Because it's they weren't superheroes,
right?
And really, that's what it is. It was not superheroes, which was. Because they had westerns, they had all these different comics. They even had westerns with werewolves, and they had all this crazy stuff when we were younger. But now it's mostly superheroes, or I always say there's 2 or 3 kinds of comics. There's superheroes, there's kind of fun comics which don't care about anything, no rules, which I love, and then there's a line of comic books that are all about making a movie. They only exist to look for a film property.
To be an IP.
Yeah, to be an IP. Right. And
absolutely.
It's not really comics to entertain. So, maybe it is entertain. I don't know. It's just they have a different motive.
They have a different agenda. One of my favorite John Hickman quotes is, all these books are on the same shelves for different reasons.
Right, there you go.
And, and it's those IP generating comics. I totally agree. Here, Jordan has a question. I have to take my glasses off.
Sure. Hey, Jordan.
Boom. Let's see. Here we go. I funded multiple comics through Kickstarter. My first series got picked up by Scout. Now other publishers have approached me. Do you think I should keep using Kickstarter or focus on pitching publishers going forward?
All right, that's an easy one, Jordan. So every time you do a book with another company, they're going to own a piece of it. They're going to own they're going to want to own a piece of your intellectual property. So if you're going to go into business with another company, Scout's picking up your book, but they're not. I'm guessing they're not going to own anything. They're just buying the right to publish it. If I'm wrong, Jordan, you can chime in.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking they're just going to publish it with you, and you have a publishing deal with them, and that's great. Since you made your money from the Kickstarter, it just gets your work out there, and that's terrific. Now, if they're coming in and saying we're going to publish it, but we want to own a piece of it, well, that's in your hands. If you're okay giving it away, that's on you. I wouldn't personally. But so as you find other publishers going forward looking to work with you, you got to ask them how much do I own? What do you retain? How much of the IP you own? Otherwise, you might as well work for Marvel and DC where they own it all, and you're just working for a page rate. But you have to ask yourself what you want to do. If you want to build up your work, then you can partner with somebody. If it's 50-50 split, make sure in every contract there's a reversion of rights, meaning when they're done with the deal, you get your rights back. Okay, they don't own the IP, then it's great. If they want to work with you more and publish your stuff, great. Then partner and get it out. You can keep the Kickstarters going and work for them at the same time. Since the Kickstarter has no schedule, you can kind of push it aside and work on the stuff in front of you. And that's what I would do. Anyway.
No, I hear you, man. That's cool. Amanda, I know it's funny. I was reading an interview you did about the Vampirella cover that you did for Dynamite, and it's reprinting 2 of your old stories, which is fantastic. But you said in the interview that you're going to start kind of getting more involved with Kickstarter yourself, and maybe, I know Jimmy, as you said, and I've said it a million times as well, the guy's a guru. He's got it down to a science, and congratulations on that, Jimmy. No, come on, man. You're the chimp after he gets the IQ.
Yeah,
the Gururilla.
The Gururilla. That's Amanda's new book, Gururilla.
No, I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and I can do a lot of the creative stuff, but I'm just gonna follow Jimmy's instructions with the Kickstarter. It's gonna be a paper films launch, so he and Patrick know how to do this. and I'm just going to say, okay, where do I put the stamps and what do I stuff into which envelopes? You know.
Yeah, we won't even make you do that. We need you to draw the book.
So, but yeah, they know how to, you know, Jimmy knows how to run a Kickstarter campaign really well. So
seriously, I saw the numbers. You have like 1,200 or 1,300 people just on sex and violence. And again, like, is this number 12? How many Kickstarters have you done?
I think it's 15 or 16. I'm not sure. I think it's around there somewhere. Yeah.
And it was in double digits. Now, Wesley asks, does Kickstarter reach a big enough audience that you don't need a publisher?
Okay, so I can do my Kickstarter. My audience is, like you were just saying, on this one it's 1,200 people. The difference between 1,200 people in a comic store buying it and buying a Kickstarter is the Kickstarter average person is spending around $25 to $35 because they're getting something that's exclusive. They're getting signatures. They're getting prints. They're getting all that stuff. It does. So for me, you know, the Kickstarters, sometimes they reach a big enough audience. Sometimes I repackage them and put them out through another publisher. And some publishers are interested in that because they realize, that my Kickstarter only got 1,500 people. So a publisher says, well, publisher always needs more things to publish. They always need product. These are done in ones, a lot of them, or they can be broken down to issues. So a lot of publishers are interested in publishing the books after I've Kickstarted them. What I do is I make sure the Kickstarter has unique stuff. So the covers are only on the Kickstarter. So if I republish it, it has a completely different cover, different format. Obviously, it's not signed. Obviously, it's just a book they put out. I make sure the Kickstarter stuff is unique to the Kickstarter. And I'll use an example. The one before Sex and Violence we did was Pop Kill.
Right.
And, you know, we did we have Amanda Chase covers, and we had some Adam Hughes Chase covers and Bill Sienkiewicz. And the aftermarket on these things now are crazy. I mean, they're going for between $200 and $500 a book because collectors can't get them. And guess what? We don't have them. You know, we made them to print. You know, we obviously print a little more for damages and to have stock, but they're not readily available. Same thing with Sex and Violence. You're only going to be able to get a certain amount of Amanda's covers and a Joe Linsner cover, and then it's done. So there's an aftermarket lately that we've never seen intensely because I never see the Kickstarters on eBay or a secondary market, but I did see it on Pop Killed because of the Adam Hughes and Amanda covers. And I'm okay with that, right? Because it's like, once I sell you the book, you do whatever you want with it. I don't care.
I understand.
But there's a collector's mentality to it as well. But if we repackage it, what I always do is I make sure it's not the same thing we gave the Kickstarter people. So it's different covers and different packaging. I want to always keep the Kickstarter unique. If you got in on the Kickstarter, that's the only place you're going to get that book. And especially, you know, when they're signed and when they're, you know, we put a certificate of authenticity in each book. You know, we make sure the package is something different. And again, you know, our thing is to keep it unique and cool. You're getting it right from us. I mean, the boxes are even packed by me, you know. So it's like, it's a very grassroots operation, but one day some of them will be reprinted, and it will be reprinted in a way that actually makes everyone who backed the Kickstarter's books actually worth 10 times more, because it's only gonna be a limited edition. So a lot of people are investing in the books these days, which is, yeah, it's cool. It's another market. We just want people to read them, you know.
No, 100%, man. And then again, I think in these weird times. Right now, I've really appreciated talking to all the creators and how they have gone to other things, not just, you know, Kickstarter and crowdfunding, but Brubaker with Panel Syndicate and Marcus Martin and some of these other platforms to get books out there. And I think, thankfully, beyond the creativity you guys have in storytelling, also in terms of getting your product out there to your fans. And again, truly, man, that level of community that I think you've gathered with your 14 or 15 Kickstarters is just really impressive, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, our next one is actually going to be an Amanda featured thing.
Excellent. I don't know what can you tell us about it.
Can we talk about it?
I don't know if we're talking about it. Are we talking about it yet?
It'll be in a couple 2 or 3 weeks, and it will be anybody who's an Amanda fan probably wants to get this. How about that? We can't say what it is yet. Amanda fan?
Amanda
fan. Yeah, but we did a little digging around, and we put together something cool with Amanda. Amanda's actually editing it with herself. And John J. Hill.
Yeah.
The designer, her and John are working. I'm staying out of it. It's like an Amanda Connor production. I'm just going to do a Kickstarter.
John J. Hill is he's a designer and a letterer, and he is fantastic. He is really good at what he does.
That's cool. What can you tell us at least the genre, Amanda, or no?
Adult.
Yeah, it's
wrong with that.
It's for grown-ups.
It's not for kids. This is not for kids.
I mean, it's not going to have anything like horrific that will scar your kids for life. So
hopefully.
No, but it was again going to that article you did. I think it was with Heidi's. I think it was with The Beat, maybe not. But when you were talking about even back in the '90s, that transition from Barbie to Vampirella. Here's the cover, everybody.
Yes, that's the Vampy, the
Dynamite.
For Dynamite Comics.
Cool. And you got 2 stories that you've that they're reprinting of
yes
stuff.
Back from the '90s, I think.
Yeah, the one story is the one Amanda and I wrote.
Oh yeah. There's
and she drew. So there's a funny story in that one. That's a great. We're happy to see that.
It was kind of when I was learning what it was that I was really good at, and.
Okay.
And what I'm really good at is stuff that's a little irreverent and somewhat silly, and not always like too dead serious. And that's the story where I was like, oh yeah, I'm comfortable with this. This is definitely my comfort zone.
Well, at the risk of again in this PC world, one of my favorite gags that you guys did was in Power Girl when she's talking to Jimmy Olsen. And Power Girl's thinking, and she's like, wow, he's really taking me seriously. Oh, there go his eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that was awesome. That was hilarious. Yeah. It's like, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the JSA Classified one. I remember that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, and then, I mean, really, just in general, that run, the Power Girl solo run and everything.
Yeah, I think
I've told Jimmy before, bringing Vartox into it was just.
I had so much fun on that run.
And I pissed off people today because my April Fool's thing was that Amanda and I are doing Power Girl again, and we're doing a book called Tallulah and Hex, and neither of those things are happening. Although we did pitch Power Girl to them, and they passed on. They said they're not interested in doing Power Girl with us. So
well, hopefully there's a Power Girl character or series coming up where they're going to find the need to,
or we might have to create our own Power Girl.
Absolutely. So
it won't be censored. And
John,
we love you too, and Wayne. I want to say hi to Wayne up there.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Wayne, how's it going? And good to see you guys. Not doing your job and watching. Enjoy. Well, it's after 5. Maybe they got off.
I believe Wayne is retired. I could be because he got good for him.
Yeah, but, Wayne is retired. Yep.
He, it's funny. Me and Franco from Art and Franco. We're going to be doing a podcast on Franco's channel on Friday night.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So, and they say hello. Art and Franco say hello. I told them.
Oh, we love those guys. They're fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, man. Well, here. Let's see. I saw something earlier. Jordan wanted to ask a follow-up question. Do you think more publishers will start to relax their attitude around not publishing comics that have already been on Kickstarter? I know that to be a fact already.
Yeah, because I mean, look who popped in. Yes, the publisher always needs content, so they will if they think it could make money for them, they will publish it. That's the bottom line of all publishing. If it can make some money, fine.
I agree. Yeah, and also, in a lot of ways, maybe the Kickstarter defrays initial cost. And
right. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because I know
it's low risk, John. It's low risk for them to print the book. There's no the creators.
They know the content.
Yeah, and the creators taking on all the
risk.
They don't even need an editor. They can just plop a new cover on it and call it a day. And I think we'll see a lot more of that in the future. But as much stuff is being made on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and stuff, it's still not a lot if you compare it to the creators out there. I think it's slowly catching on, but it's still very limited. I still think it's a drop in the bucket. And I want to pick on Christopher Palmiotti there. Doing our job is overrated. I think, Chris, everything is overrated. Don't you, Chris?
And how about John Beatty? John Beatty jumped in.
Oh, John Beatty. I just backed the digital. All right.
So that's awesome, man. Very cool.
Oh, we would love to work with you, John. John's awesome,
Yes, I do.
And thank you, John, for backing the digital for 1, 2, and 3, because that's the best bargain on the Kickstarter page. And it gets delivered right to your mailbox as soon as your check clears, so to speak, or your credit card clears.
Outstanding, man. Right. So, and again, the campaign ends on Easter. It ends this Sunday, right?
It ends tomorrow.
That's it. Friday.
I think it ends tomorrow.
I thought it was.
I heard it's going to be a Good Friday, though. So. I
want to see here. Does it end? 63 hours to go.
60. Okay. So we got a couple. A couple of days. Yeah. All right. I mean, I like to say tomorrow to give people a rush. How about that, John? So
I understand.
It ends in 20 minutes. So
why are you watching us? Exactly. Jump.
What the hell are you doing?
Go away. No, we're good. We're doing good. That's great, guys. Honestly, and Amanda, your GoFundMe, although it was, I guess, for Dynamite for Vampy, that ends tomorrow.
So okay, that does end tomorrow. Yes, yeah, that does.
That's awesome. And now let's talk about what's behind you there, Red Sonja.
That's right.
So that's cool.
Big Red. Let me see. I don't want to do that to her. She'll just stab me. Yeah, we the first issue comes out next month.
Yes.
And we're doing 6 issues. The artist on it is Moritat.
Fantastic. I love him, man.
So these pages are looking fabulous.
How great is this book looking?
It looks amazing. It looks so amazing. I love his stuff.
Absolutely. Since Elephant Man, that was my first exposure to his stuff when he was working with Richard.
Yeah. He's great. He's great. So, we're lucky to have him.
Oh, and this is good. John wants to know, are the add-ons for sex and violence going to go towards the total for the stretch goals? Hope we hit that 60,000.
That is a good question. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, hopefully if we, well, no, actually the add-on's supposed to be add-ons. The campaign has to hit it. We keep it's church and state on that. So we're hoping we hit the 60. We hope we hit the 60K mark. So, because I want to do a spot varnish on it, but it's funny because the spot varnish is not only, extra money. I'm going to say goodbye to Chris. Chris, say hi to everybody, man. Give everybody your best. Anyway, the spot varnish delays the shipping like a week or two because we have to get it spot varnished in another place. But
it's so pretty.
It is pretty. We're hoping to hit the 60, so we're just going to shoot for that. And as far as the add-ons, I don't like to depend on add-ons because people either do stuff or they don't. We do have some cool add-ons. We tried to make some stuff that we had available only for Pop Kill and stuff like that. So you actually will have some Pop Kill add-ons, limited numbers of things, but that's after the campaigns end. So you have to actually back Sex and Violence to be able to check out what the add-ons are. But we're here to focus on the book. But that is a good question. I will talk to Patrick about that. It's a good. I can't answer it yet, but I'll figure it out.
That's cool. A lot of the cool special pledges have already been taken, like Amanda's mystery cover.
Yeah, that sells out. Here's the thing. Amanda's cover always sells out.
I believe it.
It's always the most requested thing. Hey, I missed it. Can you get me one of those? Is like the musical tune I hear for weeks afterwards. Like, I missed out on Amanda's. Although you can still get Amanda's in the set. So I think what Amanda has, I think in the regular set, there's still a bunch of Amanda's left, but not in if you're just buying the Amanda cover. So if you buy if you get the 2 Friseta covers, you get Amanda's cover, and you get the Joe Linza cover. That's the set you can get. You're cute. And so there you go. And Joe's thing. And those are the old volumes right there.
Right. And the back one is that at least the teaser.
So we don't show Amanda's. So here's the funny thing. I've been doing the Kickstarters forever. I've been doing an Amanda kind of mystery adult cover for every book, and we never show it. Like it's a mystery. When you get your Kickstarter, we don't even show it online. Like you have to get your Kickstarter and open it. It always gets blown because people post it on Facebook and Twitter. The minute they get it, they put it on and we always go, okay, there it is. But it has to stay a mystery. I love the idea of, I don't know what the hell I'm going to get.
Surprise.
Although I'm going to see if I can find one. You keep talking. I'm going to see if I can find one of the past ones.
Surprise.
Well, no, but honestly, man, I mean, that's the great thing is you're a known commodity, and we all love your covers and your interiors for that matter. But
thank you.
No, you do. I mean, and that's what I was going to say earlier when we were talking about starting on Vampirella as you did in the 90s and stuff, and you were saying that okay, these are adult comics. Well, you did your share of all ages comics when you were doing Barbie, of course.
Yeah, I did, and I feel like I paid my dues there.
Yeah, so here's one.
Stand by. I'm gonna zoom
it's a little. It's spot varnished and it's shiny.
It's got some glowiness.
This nice. Was from Pop Kill 3, I think it was.
Yeah.
Let me see. Wait, hang on.
I think it is.
The guys are bound and gagged, obviously.
Yes, these are the brothers
that who own the soda company.
And you can't see, but on their boobs they have soda pop tops.
Well, very good. There you go. Thank you very much. Very tasteful.
We only have the 200 of these, and I can't tell you how many people go, oh, can I get one of those? And I'm just like, that's why you got to back the Kickstarter.
Do they come in the digital version? Or only in the hardware?
No, it only in the we don't put it in the digital. It's the digital one gets the basic cover.
Okay.
With the content. Yeah, no, the we want to create a true chase. We want to create something that either you really want it or you don't. I mean, it's bad enough that it's called the mystery cover. You don't even get to see it.
I understand.
But John, you know this. I'm a collector too. I mean, it's. If somebody said to me, let's go beyond you because it's too easy. But if somebody said mystery Manara cover, I would be like, yeah, I want that. Or mystery Adam Hughes cover, mystery Dave Johnson cover, whatever. That would be the one I want because that's like the kind of the cool thing about it. Like,
it's nice to get a surprise.
Yeah, we need surprises besides COVID. I mean, we need actual surprises.
No, I agree with you guys. And again, it's great that you're making the kind of comics you guys want to make that publishers would be afraid of because of the
as they should be. They should be afraid,
and that's fine. No, I remember when Volume 1 of Sex and Violence we were promoting that, and I'm like, yes, there you go. It is just like Snakes on a Plane. We know what we're getting from that title. Very good.
Right. I also feel like there's enough of the other kind of comic out there. We can do an adult comic. I feel everyone's got the superhero and the all ages stuff covered. We're good. We're good to go.
Again, I mean, we grew like we said earlier. We grew up on seeing adult comics, and it didn't. We didn't go postal. Nothing happened. Everything's fine. We appreciated the fun. Here, John W has a good question.
Okay.
Are there unique challenges to working together? That's true. It seems to enhance your relationship. That's our observation. Are there moments where you disagree on a project? And then what the other question is, when are you two going to sketch with the Drink and Draw guys? Oh, that's you guys haven't been on.
We were on. I think one time.
Yeah,
I would do it again though. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, we're waiting for those guys to get their act together. They're kind of boring, right? It's like it's long and drawn out. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't say it.
Right. No, we haven't been asked back, so who knows. But we had fun doing it the first time. But there are challenges to working together. Like today, for instance, I woke up and used the bathroom, and somebody put two-way tape on the toilet seat.
Because I saw Amanda's.
Well, she's done that in the past.
Yes, I saw you right about that.
On the toilet, have I?
Not on the toilet. You put in my underwear. Remember when we? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and then what else? Today I had
you had a roach.
A roach in the shower.
Yeah.
And then where was the other one?
The other roach was
rubber roaches.
What is it? I did it at like 3:00 in the morning.
She's. This is after last year. I convinced her somebody borrowed her car, and I convinced they got in a wreck and destroyed the car. Like April Fools is not great around the house here because it's dangerous with Amanda around. But And that post I put up today pissed off everybody. Your book
that you're reading.
Oh, you put it? Yeah, you put a roach in my Deborah Harry book. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, but we get along great. I mean, working together is what we've been working towards. So Harley Quinn taught us that we can do it. We can do it on time. Now we want to do it where we write together and then she draws it. So we want to have like a full on books. And we have 3 projects sitting on the runway. Yeah, they're on the runway waiting to be cleared. So more from us in the future.
And sometimes, I mean, there are sometimes where we disagree on something because we both think we're right.
Right. So, yeah, and I have to give in because
because I'm a monster.
She'll kill me while I sleep. I fall asleep faster, so she has the opportunity to destroy me.
To smother you, yes.
Yes, exactly. Pretty much, yeah. Don't let that sweet face.
I know, exactly. Oh, Jesus.
She's history's greatest monster. Okay.
So. Amanda, with the risk of getting punched by Jimmy, I'd walk off a cliff for you. I totally get it. You're
I won't make you walk off a cliff. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. You guys did me a solid years ago, and I'm sure you won't remember it because it was such a random after-hours thing at a con. But you guys introduced me to Joe Kubert, and it made it that I never got him on Word Balloon.
Is that in San Francisco?
No, it was here in I believe it was Chicago.
Yeah.
At the Hyatt, like you guys were coming back from something, hanging out with him. And you're like, John, you ever meet Joe Kubert? And I'm like, no, good Lord. It's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we miss Joe, man.
Yeah. I love him.
Well, and again, a guy that did great stuff, at DC in particular, and then still made his own stuff up until he was passing. God, that series that DC was doing right up until he died was just it was so great. And it looked like he still had it. I know in the case of Will Eisner, Will's last story, and I don't feel like I'm speaking on a school talking about this because Alex Savick has said it himself. Alex got the breakdowns from Will that were very bare, very basic, not even looking like Will Eisner art necessarily. Alex knew how to finish in Will's style.
Right.
So that last 5-page escapist meets the spirit story was Will's conception, but Alex, did the art, and it was great. And it's certainly what a wonderful last little thing to come out and looking so Will Eisner as it did. That's amazing. So.
Yeah. Joe, I think was drawing in his hospital bed.
He was. He was.
I think they bought him a Cintiq or something, and he was drawing in his hospital bed.
He had an electronic pad. I think Adam or Andy told us that. And his boys are so talented. Both Adam and Andy are those guys. I mean, they definitely chip off the old block, and they're both so sweet, just like Joe was. But Joe was Amanda's teacher too.
Yeah. I went to Harvard school, so I got to have Joe as a teacher, which was great.
Yeah. Any other artists that were part of the faculty?
Lee Weeks was in my class.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying
to Tex Blaisdell, was he teaching then, or
Tex was teaching? Yeah, Tex was. It was. He was there.
Okay.
When I was there, Yeah, he was.
My one Kurt Swan page of Superman that I own was inked by Tex. And it's just a Clark and Lois scene. But it's great. Come on, it's Kurt Swan. I don't care.
That's And who taught you perspective?
Oh God, that was
this is funny.
That was we had Greg Hildebrandt, teaching us how to do, and he's like, when you do the perspective, we were like, perspective, and he's like, wait a minute, you haven't gotten the perspective class yet? And we're like, no, not yet. And he's like, okay, drop everything. All right. And he just gave us this crash course in perspective. So that was pretty awesome. And Erwin Hazen was one of our teachers also.
Yeah, Erwin Hazen.
I love Erwin. Yes, hilarious.
He was fun. He was fun to talk to. He's like the international playboy.
Yes, his safari outfit and his ascot. Yes.
Yeah, his ascot. And one time I had a table. I shared a table at a con with him and Julie Schwartz. I was in the middle of those two idiots.
Oh my God! And
the whole time picking on each other. And then Erwin drew me a picture of Dondi taking a piss, and I thought he was so funny. Erwin was great. They both were crazy,
My sister was not a comic book reader, but she loved the comic strips.
Yes.
And I didn't know until I started going to cons that Irwin. I mean, I loved Dondi when I was growing up.
Yeah,
and I didn't put two and two together that was Irwin. And so when I found out, I called her right away. I'm like, remember Dondi? She's like, oh yeah, they used to break my heart every week the Sunday strips. And I'm like, yeah, I just met the guy. And she's like, get out of here. I'm like, he's awesome. I'm like,
and he's nothing like Dondi. He's like Dondi snorted cocaine and went to a 1960s orgy party. Like that's like Irwin is like this. I picture him as he goes to me, Jimmy, I have a place in the Hamptons. The ladies like it. I was like, what? I think this guy's like 80-something years old and he's telling me these stories.
But he was just a little mentor of a man. Absolutely, man. You wanted to pinch his I wanted to pinch his cheeks, for God's sake. I know.
He was actually in that Donnie movie. There was like a Donnie movie from the 50s.
Robert Wagner, I want to say.
He gets lost and they're like, and Irwin actually is like this police sketch artist. Right. And he draws Dondi as it is in the comic strip.
Everybody under 40 or 45 has to look up and see what Dondi is, by the way. Right. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, I don't mind the Dondi jag. I'm very happy about that. I was going to ask earlier, as we were talking about our favorite adult comics and stuff, and certainly they were on the black and white magazine rack. Did you guys read Bill Shelley's biography of Jim Warren before Bill passed away?
No, because I have like a later on like stuff about Warren like that because we when we worked for when we did Vampirella, it was at the Harris offices.
Sure.
And they had a room next to the boiler room that housed all the Vampirella eerie and creepy original art, and it was next to the boiler. Like it was next to it in these envelopes, and one of the guys took me down there. He says, "Yeah, you want to check it out?" And he says, "It's all been picked through because people stole a lot of the art. They stole all the vampy stuff." And they said, and I'm looking through it, and I'm seeing, pulling out these gigantic Esteban Maratu pages and all these things, and I'm like, you guys need to move this away from that firebox over there because there's no humidity in this room. Everything's dry, like cracky dry. It was so, I just remember that was my but I did have complete sets of Creepy and Eerie. I used to have all the magazines, Creepy and Eerie, from 1 all the way up.
Yeah.
And I had like most of the Vampirellas. The Vampirellas were beautiful to look at, but the stories were goofy.
Yeah.
Where Creepy and Eerie actually had some great stuff, and then when
they're writers,
and when they started putting the color stories in the middle towards the end, and Corbin, and then Corbin with color stuff, and and they put out the Spirit magazines with the color story in the middle.
Yes.
Like that was like for me, like that and heavy metal were like my whole, that was my whole world there.
I hear you, man. No, I early 2000s before I was doing the podcast. Eisner came to the University of Chicago for a humanities weekend, and it was this great look at comics, and it was very scholarly in its presentation. But Neil Gaiman was there, and McLeod was there, and Art Spiegelman was there, and Will, and it was so great. They do their presentations, and they just stand out in the lobby, and if you wanted to get a book signed, great, whatever. Right. And I had 2 original Warren Spirits with those color sections, and and the pages. I'm assuming it was from oxidized, conditions or whatever, but they were peach colored. I don't remember if they were peach colored. Yeah.
I mean, again, these were made to be disposable, so. Nobody was thinking about paper stock, how it would affect it. I mean, you look at the copies of comics from the 50s, and the paper is like the cheapest paper. As a matter of fact, we had a friend that did construction, and they took down a wall in the Bronx, and they used comic books from the 40s as insulation. They were so dry though when he took them down, they just crumbled. They all crumbled. But finding a wall of that, though,
And, I can only imagine, and you guys know too. And I always hear about it from the British creators that they would have stacks of comics used for ballast, literally just weight, and that's how a lot of those comics wound up in secondhand stores in the UK and everything.
Yeah. I mean, there was even that story about EC. I guess it's a famous story where they had a flood and they used the comic art and put it on the ground so people could walk around the office.
Oh my god!
Think about that. It's why you don't see a ton of original art like from certain eras people go, "Where's all those H.H. Peter Wonder Woman pages?" And you realize that there's only a couple of them in existence.
Gone.
People would throw them out. They would toss them. The publisher would say, "What are we going to do with all this?" And they would toss it in the garbage. You know?
Well, and then I guess, wasn't it when the liquidation happened with Warren? Is that how Harris?
So Harris got the art, and when Harris went out of business, I have no idea who got that art. I mean, I made an offer to buy it at one point, to buy it all sight unseen, like per page, but they weren't interested. So I would have honestly, I would have spent half my time mailing it back to the artists, you know, and just pulling out the page I want from my percentage, and then the rest would go back to the artist. As a matter of fact, when Marvel moved offices years ago, I was working one night and I came back through the back entrance and somebody threw out a ton of original art.
In one of those big
in one of the bins, and I pulled out everything and spent hours putting stuff in envelopes. And I remember a Kevin Nolan painting, and there was a Paul Chadwick story that he did as a tryout for Fantastic Four, and there was a lot of art that I pulled out, put in envelopes, and then the next day I told the art returns guy, I'm like, "You're going to ship all of these back to these people." And they're like, "Oh, we don't know how it got there. Somebody accidentally, you know, it just happens, right? It's paper." Yeah,
no, I get. Well, and you know,
Wayne is dying over there.
Wayne is stopping. Wayne,
yeah, he is. Literally.
Wayne, that's why you can't find those pages you want. They're gone.
I get it, man. Absolutely. Henry Barajas has a couple great shout outs, like the Pro, of course.
Henry.
And bring back Jonah Hex, or
Henry's the man. We love Henry.
Or make your own hex. That'd be great to see.
Actually, I'm working on, you know, it's funny, make your own hex. I'm working on a book with, I can't say who, but it's sort of me doing another Western, and not exactly like Jonah, but in a way a little tougher in a different way.
Amanda, did you ever do the interiors of one of the hex books back then?
No, never.
I didn't think so.
It was a monthly book. We had to get it out on time.
Yeah, it was like the one book that came out on. Yeah, I'm not fast. I will cop to that. I am not a fast artist.
I would have loved a Little Black series with Amanda drawing it. That would have been great.
Yeah, I'm just
absolutely.
One day when they give me the character back, I'll.
You have to, yeah.
we do get the characters back once in a while, so.
Well, yeah, because you got back. Was it the
Monolith and GI Zombie and
oh yeah, wow, that's great. GI Zombie, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and we got Twilight Experiment. We got back. You know, a lot of stuff that's creator owned. If they don't, they have a certain amount of time where the rights version. And DC's fantastic. The guys up there in the legal department are great to deal with, and you know they're just terrific guys. I that crew up there, the legal crew, I really love working with them. Good guys.
Earlier, someone had asked if any paper film plans to bring back Ash.
I won't do Ash without Joe.
Okay.
So Joe would have to clear up his schedule. We talk about it when Joe and I see each other. We talk about it all the time. You know, I think one day when his schedule is clear, that'll happen, but it's not going to happen soon.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, I understand. When you guys did that Vampy thing, were you guys already an item? Were you guys already going out and stuff back then?
We were just about to go out. Yeah.
No, yeah, we were just friends actually.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's great.
I was trying to get, because I was looking at her art and I kept saying, they keep putting you on like Lion King and Gargoyles, and
Gargoyles was actually really fun. I got to admit.
Yeah.
Gargoyles was fun, but yeah, Jimmy.
But I felt like it should be. She's really good. Like, and I said, this is just the complete opposite of what you're doing, which is Vampirella.
Right.
You know, I said, let me see if I think we showed your work to Johnny up there or somebody up there.
David.
Oh, David Bogart.
Yeah, David Bogart. And he's like, okay, you're hired.
Awesome.
And yeah, we were just about to go out. We knew each other for 4 years before we started dating.
Yeah.
So
and then she seduced me, and the rest is history.
I understand. Jimmy just made a comment that you guys are like Walt and Weezy. Absolutely, man.
Aren't they cute? Walt and Weezy is so adorable.
Yes,
they're two sweet people, boy. Just yeah. I mean, they're like sugar sweet. Those guys.
God, and I've been lucky enough to know Walter for over 15 years, and it's only been in the last couple of years where it's like, okay, I'm not bugging him. He is happy to hear from me. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, cool. I wish he would come out of his shell and talk a little bit more. You know,
we did that drink and draw. You're obviously being facetious, but
yes,
we did that drink and draw last month, and it was him and Shaken telling old stories. And it was fantastic. Oh yeah,
well, I can listen to I can listen to Walt all day. He's just a sweetheart. Maybe I don't want to say this out loud because I think everybody will expect it. But he knew I was a fan of his. I got him to do a Jonah Hex cover, and I couldn't have been happier with that cover. And then one day, don't tell anybody, but one day it showed up in my mail as a gift, and it was the sweetest thing ever. And Amanda might bury me with it. She might throw it in a coffin and bury it. Right, I'm going to be holding on to it.
Because I don't want Jimmy to haunt me angrily.
Right, I'm going to say, what are you going to do with that? You better not sell that. I don't care if you need 2 pints of blood. Put that thing down.
No, I get it. God, and not to be morbid, but seriously, like the passionate collector that you guys are, that you both are. Amanda, I'm assuming obviously you share Jimmy's collecting passion, or no?
I didn't really start collecting art until I met Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or started going out with him, I should say. It was just not something that, occasionally, if there was a page that I really, that really meant something, I think, I bought 1 or 2 pages, in the late 80s, early 90s, I think. But Jimmy had a lot of pages.
I did. We bought our house with some of the art I bought. I bought stuff as a fan, So I bought a bunch of Dark Knight pages. I bought some Hellboy covers. I went up to the table like everybody else, and whatever they were asking, I paid.
Sure.
And then when we needed to buy a house, we were we need a 20% deposit, and I was like, all right, let me check with my art friends and see if anybody wants to buy anything. And of course, my art friends took all the best stuff right out of the collection. My Dark Knight pages, my Watchmen page, and the Meg Mignola Hellboy covers, like that.
Gone.
Yeah. But it did buy us the house, and we're happy.
Just put the down, not the down payment.
The down payment, and I've told everybody that all the artists the story about it, so they're all happy they contributed to getting a roof over our head at the time. So I look, I still buy artwork. I still buy it. I don't buy it the way I used to because it's so expensive lately.
Oh my God, yes.
It's funny. I love original art though. And I did just buy. I recently just bought some stuff. But I got a pretty good bargain on it. But it's a hobby that you really is one of a kind. I get people collecting comics, and I collect comics too. But
sure.
But the art is just a completely different animal.
No, I get it. I absolutely. I have more commissions than I do original pages because I just like that idea that it's like a private performance. It's like
I
think to pull out the acoustic guitar and sing a song real fast for you.
Yeah, I do love older pages that have hand lettering on them. Sure. I love reading, even if it's out of context, to grab a page and see how ridiculous it is, and you're like, "What is this?" And Amanda, Amanda's art. Some artists you want, right? I have a want list, but it's everybody I want is now too expensive.
I understand. I totally understand. Well, I was wondering. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I thought I was being clever by picking certain artists that nobody else liked. Nope.
Well, I'll tell you, because honestly, last time we talked, you were telling me not only about, and actually we really didn't get into comic pages, but just other cool stuff that you've been buying lately.
Yeah.
Movie posters and things like that. And that's what I was wondering, Amanda, if beyond comic art and stuff, are you a collector of any great?
Yeah, I like weird stuff. I remember I was collecting
husbands. No.
Okay.
No.
Like something that I can't even. God, I think it's still in storage. I bought the conceptual art to a movie called like I don't know, but it was about like crazy women in jail, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. You have that somewhere.
I have like the concept art for it, and it's great. It's just so campy. I love campy stuff.
Sure.
I love crazy campy stuff. And God, what the hell's the name of it?
Women in prison. It's like one of those
like
women
in prison.
Sure.
You know, like you know,
starring Amanda Connor.
You know, like women
Linda
grabbing
Blair and
like you know guards and beating them with it. You know, it's
yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Well, that's what I was going to say, and we were talking about different things last time that Jimmy and I talked. And my thing is, and I'm lucky because I guess I'm old enough that anybody younger than me would have no idea what this stuff is. But back in the 80s, we had a great local record store called Record City. And do you guys know about Roulette Records, that label?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I figured Jimmy would.
Jimmy does. Yeah.
It was a mob back label. They totally like stole blindly from Tommy James and the Shondells. I mean, literally millions of dollars, stuff like that. Just as one example, my favorite Roulette Record story is Bill Dana, the old comedian who used to do Jose Jimenez. He was on a different record label, and the guys at Roulette literally recorded the audio from a bunch of variety shows and compiled a Jose Jimenez album from these shots. Bill Dana calls them and is like, hey, I'm with ABC Records. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah, what's it to you? And it's like, you just shut the hell up and we'll do what we want. Thank you. And he's like,
oh my God.
Did you watch that show, Ms. Maisel, The Amazing?
Yes, of course. I love that show. Oh my
Remember
God.
the scene where she'd go in that little record store and they'd have the recordings of the comedy, all illegal recordings.
Yep.
I thought that was such a great scene because we had record stores like that in Brooklyn.
Totally.
That had, like, all these illegal presses of concerts and things like that, you know?
Well, that's why a couple things, and I don't have visuals of these, but first, based on that, being in radio, I've been in radio for 35 years. And back in the day, I don't think they still do it. The labels would send out these interview records, both 45s and albums. And that way, somebody in, Midland, Texas could be like, hey, guess what? The Beatles were just in and they were talking about their brand new movie, Help. And it's this entire interview that the DJ can supply the questions. And it's already fully produced with the answers. Right. But you can kind of mix it together. So I got a bunch of those. I got one with, I got the Beatles Help one. I got a Sammy Davis one from the early 70s. I got a Tom Jones one from the early 70s.
Oh, yeah.
And just, again, stupid shit. And, thankfully it's cheap. Well, back to Roulette Records, back in the late 50s, they re-released these albums in the 70s. They had this series of albums called Co-Star. And the conceit of Co-Star, if you know your Monty Python bits, as it says here on the cover, you act out a scene opposite your favorite star. So here's Fernando Lamas, and it's called King and the Chorus Girl. It's got to be the Princess and the Showgirl, or the Princess and the Showgirl. Right. That's my guess. But then I got a George Raft one, and it's the Poor Man's Bogart. They Drive by Night.
Drive by Night. Yep.
And of course Cesar Romero, which is fantastic. There's great stuff on there. And then Vincent Price. And the Vincent Price one has a Western scene where he's a gambler. He's a con man gambler.
He was in a couple of Westerns when he was way back when.
I didn't realize that.
He played a bad guy in them. Yeah.
And I believe that. And you see him in his earlier pre-horror stuff, like Laura, of course.
Yeah.
And other great movies like that. I mean, he was amazing. I'm a massive fan. But yeah, it seemed very incongruous that congruent that Vincent Price is doing a Western. Yes,
those are so cool. We should do a recording where we act opposite it. Yeah. So do they give you the lines that you say in the record, like printed out?
There's a paper script with every album.
I want. They have a Bogart one. I'd like to act opposite.
No, they have Basil. I have Basil Rathbone.
All right,
but all he's doing is the brothers Karamazov.
Oh, okay.
The eyebrow stuff, and then then I don't know if you know this actor because he was first a boxer. Slapsy Maxie Rosenblum.
God, I know the name, but I don't know him. I know the name though.
He was that prototype character actor, like, okay, Lefty, I'll take care of the guy. I'm sure that's Mel Blanc. Yeah, I'm sure that's who Mel Blanc was imitating when he would do that kind of dopey gangster voice and everything. But there's a couple great scenes on there, and I'm a boxing nut. And there's one with like a manager and a washed-up fighter. I don't have it anymore, Charlie. I got to retire. that kind of thing. But no, that's exactly what I want to do. Is I want to take the scenes and put goofy voices and just do crazy shit. So I'm happy to send you.
I think it'd be hysterical. I think it'd be hysterical.
Yeah.
You're a good man, sister. I'm not a man. I mean, it would be fun just not having the dialogue and then having the answer to them. I think that would be like I would end your segment with, okay, I'm going to put this record on. You have to act opposite this person and then run the line.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, Franco wants to rewrite the scripts so that we can find funnier comebacks and stuff to the scene that they already have written out.
I like spontaneity. I like the idea that you don't know what you're up against and you have to come up with it. But some people are better than that than others, for sure. I
hear you, man. No. It's the Cesar Romero one has a safe cracking scene with two gangsters, after hours cracking a safe. It's fantastic. Yeah, I went nuts.
We just lost the audience. Like they all just want to check if their chicken's done yet.
Nobody watches it, Jimmy. I don't know how to break it to you. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
No. Everyone stuck by, and I appreciate it. Everybody, thank you. No, but honestly, that's why I'm this whole year. All right, now here's a comics related question.
Okay.
Have you explored this NFT digital stuff?
Yes.
We're starting to figure some of it out, and
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We've sold 3 pieces.
Okay.
So far. I'm a little I'm dipping my toe in because it's I don't know a lot. It's brand new to me. So I need to take some baby steps. I'm not crazy that it, sucks up so much energy. And I'm hoping that they, figure out a way for, they have to figure out a way for it to use less energy. Because
there is a new NFT type thing that's with Brian.
Right.
That doesn't, it's not based on the energy use. There's a whole new thing coming with it. So,
and that I find very interesting.
Yeah. The ones that Amanda moved were they were one of one. So people bought the original art.
I'm hip.
And then they wanted a minted, they wanted it's sort of like a CGC of original art.
Yeah. Still, and I understand because, there's so many people doing digital artwork now. I mean, that's how a lot of people just do art. And it's not tangible, but it exists. Right. And it's a great way for an artist to be able to sell their art. It's also a really good way for unknown artists to get discovered. I love the democratic process of it. It's people can get out there and be seen. If they, you can live in the middle of nowhere, and if you can, do your digital art and sell it, then, I think that's a wonderful thing.
Jimmy has a good comment there.
Yeah, there you go. NFTs just make me think we're getting away from cash, and we're going back to what we as humans originally did: trade objects. Okay.
Yeah, so we deal with PayPal, we deal with digital art is one of one.
What Wayne just said is that and he's got a good point. Is I'm I feel weird doing it. There are other people who were grew up strictly doing digital art, and they don't feel weird doing that.
Right.
But me, I'm just I feel weird putting it in a digital form and not giving the person the original page that goes with it. It just feels right. It feels more right to me.
Yeah. So the 3D Amanda did. People bought the original art. So
I understand.
They got but there is DC did a thing of a line of Batman black and white statues, and they did one of Amanda's based on her black and white cover. And they sold them they were $50, and it sold out. They sold 1,750 of these numbered things, and that's a whole different thing. That's a whole, we're still in talks about how we're being compensated for it and all that kind of stuff. Sure. But it is a pretty new, it's not new, but it is another way of people, trading things and locking things in as an original.
I understand. And Amanda, I share your, I don't know how to, wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
I will say,
like Wayne said, he's old school. He likes to hold it.
Right. There is there's an interesting thing though, right? So with the art NFTs, it's usually the artist selling it. And what happens is, so some people mint like they do like 10 prints, let's say 10 of NFTs of the same thing, and they number it. And as people sell and trade these, a percentage of each sale goes back to the artist.
Oh, that's great.
Imagine if Salvador Dali's paintings are sold years later and his family gets a check. Everyone, or Jack Kirby's art was all minted, and the family, every time people traded it, Jack Kirby's family would get a percentage of each sale of every piece of Jack Kirby art that's ever been sold. I mean,
and then resold again.
Yeah, I think the ghost of Jack would kind of like that on some level, that they're being compensated. But there is a lot of controversy. There is a lot of pushback. People hate it and want to demonize everything that they don't understand. And there is still a lot we don't understand. We're still on the learning stage of this.
Right.
I get it. No, and I just figured as artists, you guys might, probably have delved more into this, because truly, I've only heard about it in the last few weeks. And like I said, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. But then again, yeah, fine, then I won't buy it. I mean, it's that simple. It's
right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is, like, the more they do it, the more they're going to figure out better ways to blockchain it. They're going to figure out, more, eco-friendly ways to do it, more, just streamline it. It has to be something that happens a lot for people to put the energy and the thought into it, to streamline it and make it like a better and more viable process. So I'm not against it, because I think there's a lot of good that comes with it.
Yeah, well, the artists get taken care of. And again, it's the kind of energy. Someone explained to me it's the kind of energy that goes into using a Visa or MasterCard, type of transactions. Like these, but I also hear that there's a whole community of people that are figuring out how to create the NFTs and the currency that goes with it, not using the energy that they do. And so that's what, I think what happens is things become popular. People figure out better ways to make them, like anything, But it's an interesting time, because it blows our mind when we see a guy's sneaker selling for $800,000. We're like, what the hell is that? I saw an NFT of somebody farting, and I was like, okay, why would anybody buy that? And you know what? You don't have to buy it. It's like all art, right? You walk down the street, there's art, the guy with paintings, and you're like, either you like it, you don't. It's a different market. We're still trying to navigate it without being the bad guys, No,
I get it, and seriously, I appreciate the amount of time we're spending on it talking about that, because it's interesting, and like I said, truly, Jimmy, you're always on the forefront of this, of all comic marketing, business strategies and things like that, and I usually am coming to you and going, all right, well, how does this work?
Right. So, I mean, and Jimmy's asking, does it use a lot of energy? And I said, no. The actual, from what I hear, it's not the NFT that uses the energy; it's the currency. So it's the Bitcoin, and it's the, what is the other one? Ethereum. So it's the actual currency that uses the energy. I don't think it's tough to mint the NFT. They have a cost. They call it a gas. Is it a gas tax?
Fee?
Gas fee. Yeah. That has something to do with it, that the artist pays for to do it. So I don't think it's on that end. I think it's actually.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, but we're not sure. Somebody can come on and say everything we're saying is incorrect.
It's completely wrong.
I do know that when the art is sold between people, a percentage of the money goes back to the artist always, and the artist has like a digital pocketbook that it goes into.
Sure.
So we do love the idea. Look, I love the idea that Mike, if somebody bought my Mike Mignola painting or drawing, that Mike would get a percentage of it. Like, how cool would that be? Every time, or Frank Miller, every time they sold one of his pages, or John Romita Sr. would sell a cover, and John Romita Jr. would keep getting money from it every time it sold. I mean, why not, right?
Totally. No, I get it. Absolutely. Every time everyone says cryptocurrency, I told Art and Franco this for Tiny Titans. They should make dollar bills that have crypto's face on it, and we should have crypto.
By the way, somebody already did that as an NFT, so it's been done. Probably DC told them to shut it down, because we own crypto, so we own all white dogs with superpowers. Yeah.
Now and again in Florida, where things open up a lot faster than everyone else, are you guys even like toying with potential conventions late this year?
I don't know. It's tricky. I mean, so by the time San Diego is
Thanksgiving weekend.
Everybody's like, I want to stay with my family and eat a lot of food during Thanksgiving. And I mean, having San Diego during Thanksgiving is great if you live in San Diego and you fill up on food on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday and Sunday you get to go to the con. It's great, but I don't want to like pick up and leave.
Well, I think they'd have to pay our way to go.
I understand.
That's number one. Number one is we have to be invited.
Right.
You guys have gotten Inkpot awards, haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Inkpot awards.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
San Diego thing.
I think if you live long enough, they give you one. I think that's the.
I'm waiting for mine. 15 years.
All right.
So, but yeah, I mean, we don't. I mean, we're gonna have our second shot.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, in like mid to late April. So that'll be nice, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll be fine, but we have the potential to make other people sick. So, you make
me sick.
I'll put more tape on your toilet.
Tape on
nice. All right, I've kept you people enough. I honestly, as always, really great conversation. Sex and Violence, Volume 3. The campaign wraps up on Sunday. Saturday. Excuse me.
Saturday. Get out there now and get it. You got a day or two. Don't yell at me when I get people. They write me these emails. They're very angry that they say I don't promote the Kickstarter enough, and I'm like, oh my God, every day. I send it every day, and they go, yeah, I didn't see anything about this Kickstarter, and I'm like, where were you? Like, where were you?
I understand.
You can make them sick.
And the Vampy, cover GoFundMe campaign ends in about a day.
Yeah, it ends in a day. So you get that's for Dynamite, and we sold. We had the pencil, and then Amanda did a finished watercolor. We sold the pencil. Somebody bought the pencil, but we still have on that page the original watercolor. But it's not cheap, so
As it shouldn't be. That's fantastic.
It shouldn't be. Amanda's a lot of she takes a lot of money. I mean, she likes to.
I like to eat.
She likes to eat. She's very extravagant.
Yes.
Only the best chocolates.
Yes, exactly.
I can appreciate that. That's all right. Well, let's see here. Ed wanted to know what your thought was of Penguin, Marvel moving to Penguin Random House for distribution in the direct market.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it works.
Yeah, I think it's any way we can get those comics, folks, get them to us. But I think Penguin, probably with COVID, they probably all need the business. So I like the idea of competition, right?
There you go.
Because we benefit from competition.
Agreed.
So good for Penguin, and it's weird using penguins to deliver comics. So I think I don't know if
I think it's
abusive.
adorable.
You think it's adorable? All right. I mean, it's very South Pole thing. Yeah,
exactly. That'd be great. Wouldn't that be fantastic? And there'd be just a stack of books.
You hear a little. Exactly. You open the door and you're like, "What?" And they're like, eh. And you're like, "Oh yeah, you got the comics." Okay.
The best thing about Batman Returns, well, not the best thing, but one of the great things was the Penguins all carrying Cobblepot's body and stuff at the end. And I did. I mean, as gross as Danny DeVito looked as the Penguin,
he was so gross, but he's so wonderful.
Oh yeah,
and always sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, everything. I mean, literally, I've been DVRing every night.
Yes, watch the Christmas special where he's naked coming out of the couch.
Don't spoil it.
Why? It's
10 years later, 20 years later.
Yeah, 10 years later. I spoiled it 10 years later.
Well, I've been rewatching Taxi. Taxi's on that Netflix digital channel, and
Nardo.
Exactly. Oh my God. So yeah, I love all that stuff. Red Sonja, when does it start?
Next month. Yeah, I think first week in May.
Awesome.
And then it's monthly for till the end of the year almost.
Wonderful. Excellent. Guys, as always, I thank you for your time, and it's great seeing you both. You look great.
It's so good to see you, John. So
and
nice.
Thank you, everybody, for coming by. And the questions, Wayne, John, Ed, Jordan. Comic Quirks with Jimmy. I guess his name is Jimmy. I like good name, Jimmy. Thank you guys for stopping by.
John Beatty, even.
And John Beatty.
All-star cameo. Very nice. Absolutely.
Love John.
So thanks, everybody. Until next time. In fact, next time is going to be late tonight, 12:30 Jimmy and Amanda's time, 11:30 my time in the evening. To the Outer Limits, Gabe Harbin and myself. And we had a great talk on Sunday. We spoke to Joseph Stefano's son. Sadly, Mr. Stefano passed away in 2008.
Right.
He was the co-creator of Outer Limits, and he wrote the Psycho screenplay for Hitchcock. Brilliant writer, and they have just released a new collection of his original scripts.
Wow.
With autographs of Outer Limit stars of these episodes. So it's amazing. Tonight we're talking about a film that Stefano made called The Ghost of Sierra de Cobre, which was a one-shot, his only time he ever directed. It very much is like an Outer Limits. You can watch it on YouTube before our conversation, and you'll hear us talk about it. Tomorrow I'm talking to Rob Paulson, the great voice actor from Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so that'll be great. So we're closing out the week big. It's been a huge week for Word Balloon, and part of that reason is because I get to talk to people like Jimmy and Amanda. So
thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you. As always, everybody stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. We'll talk soon.